profile to a point where TV's happy to pay a little bit more money.
Did not know that. So who will be your head trainer on the night?
Ego.
Okay. And how long have you been with them?
A couple months now.
Couple months.
Yeah.
In the darkness, in secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Are you
Of course they screwed you over in this spot. Of course they did that. Of course they used you here. Of course they took advantage of you here. That's what they're supposed to do.
I got nothing. Ben Davison breaks silence on Joshua sacking him, and you can feel the fury boiling underneath. While AJ keeps gliding on the power of his name, Ben Davison was left unpaid after doing the real heavy lifting. It's the kind of betrayal that hits a man straight in the chest.
When you've got the name and the achievements of somebody like Anthony Joshua, there's always going to be a path. Paths will open up for you. Whether people like that or not, that's just the reality of it.
Johnny's words highlight exactly why the split stings. Ben Davison tried to run the corner with dignity, but Anthony Joshua's team kept blurring the lines, leaving Ben unable to stamp the authority a top trainer deserves. Ben Davison stayed loyal, stayed calm, yet still ended up pushed aside and unpaid for the work he carried.
I think the only thing he did wrong was not being strong enough to put his foot down. But he wasn't in a position to do that. And I think financially, now hopefully he's in a position that if he gets a fight coming through, the rules are, I'm the trainer, I'm the coach, you stay out there, this is my job. If you've hired me to do a job, let me do our job, keep out of it. So his only crime is being too nice.
Eddie's calm tone hides the real issue simmering underneath. Ben Davison poured his energy into shaping Anthony Joshua's mindset, while the team around Joshua kept inviting new outside voices, creating confusion and mixed direction. Ben gave structure, yet the environment around him ignored that stability and pulled Joshua in different directions. That constant movement is exactly how a trainer gets sidelined and eventually discarded, especially when the people behind the scenes refuse to appreciate the man doing the consistent work.
This isn't the first time he's gone into different environments to learn from different people, and obviously, if that's the case, great people to learn from as well.
Duke lays out exactly why the situation feels so unbalanced. Ben Davison understood Anthony Joshua on a deeper level, mapping every flaw and strength, preparing him mentally as much as physically. Yet the team around Joshua ignored that bond and chose disruption instead of continuity. Removing a coach who created emotional stability shows how disconnected the decision-makers are from the athlete's real needs. Ben invested real time, knowledge, and care, only to be dismissed when his influence mattered most.
He knows the kid inside out.
Yeah.
He knows how he works. He knows all the mechanics behind that kid and how to motivate and get the best out of him. We've seen it. And to get rid of him now at this point, I think it's a bad move.
Gareth's uncertainty reflects what everyone is sensing. The team behind Anthony Joshua keeps shifting direction without offering clear reasoning, leaving Ben Davison's contribution forgotten in the noise. Instead of nurturing the structure Ben built, they chased another stylistic approach, hoping it would magically solve deeper issues. Ben's balanced guidance deserved proper backing, not sudden replacement. When a team constantly changes direction, it is the loyal coach who ends up taking the hit while the chaos continues unchecked.
Well, of course, he's gone there. Yeah. Tony will bring him old school values. He won't tinker with him too much.
Frank captures the unsettling pattern perfectly. Stability is the core of progress, something Ben Davison tried to give Anthony Joshua. Yet the team surrounding Joshua kept stirring the pot, chasing new setups while ignoring the value of consistency. Ben worked to create a foundation and brought calm to a turbulent career phase, only for that stability to be dismissed. The decision reflects more on the managers controlling the direction than the athlete himself, who needed steady support rather than another sudden twist.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like fights keep jumping and changing trainers. It's not. I don't like that. I like fights to be settled. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, what do I know?
Adam hints at something deeper. Ben Davison gave Anthony Joshua clarity and focus before the Dubois fight. Yet the team responded to a single setback by abandoning the very coach who steadied the ship. That reaction reveals their insecurity more than any flaw in Ben's methods. Instead of building on the progress Ben created, they panicked and chased another path, leaving him unpaid and sidelined. It shows how unstable guidance from the outside can ruin the trust a fighter needs.
Hey, listen, he got caught the head on the temple, and then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad because I didn't want him to go out like that.
Is that because of the fights you had with him?
No, it's because that he's never boxed a southpaw. You know, that's the first southpaw he's boxed in how long? It's maybe his whole career.
Dominic Ingles' observations could have been written for Ben Davison. Ben gave Anthony Joshua guidance, built routines, and created trust, only for Joshua's team to exploit that trust when things didn't go perfectly. The moment Anthony Joshua's team started looking elsewhere, Ben Davison became the scapegoat, unpaid and publicly sidelined. The frustration is palpable because this is a man who gave his all and was rewarded with betrayal from the very people who promised stability. It is a cautionary tale of loyalty clashing with poor management decisions in a high-stakes sport.
They choose you. Fighters choose you. Then they use you to get where they need to be. Then they accuse you when everything goes wrong. And when they've left and gone somewhere else, then they start to abuse you by doing interviews slagging you off. And that happens more times.
Virgil Hunter captures the principle but misses the human cost. Ben Davison dedicated years of strategy, training, and emotional energy to Anthony Joshua while his team undermined that structure. The freedom to change teams is one thing, but the way Anthony Joshua's team disregarded Ben Davison's contributions, left him unpaid, and allowed the narrative to turn against him shows a lack of respect. Ben Davison's work built Anthony Joshua into a disciplined fighter, and yet the environment around Joshua chose disruption over continuity. That is the story of loyalty ignored and effort unrewarded.
He knows why he's doing it. More kudos to him. It's his career. He's got that right to change teams. You know, coaches change teams all the time. Fighters come and go and everything. If he feels like that's the best move for his career, then more kudos to him. I support that.
Johnny Nelson's words reveal the subtle fallout from Anthony Joshua's team choices. Ben Davison worked tirelessly to prepare Anthony Joshua for each fight and instill confidence. Yet the team around Joshua created distractions and shifted focus at critical moments. The result left Anthony Joshua unsettled and Ben Davison unpaid. The frustration is evident because Ben Davison knew what was at stake and delivered his expertise without complaint, while those guiding decisions from the outside undermined the progress. Loyalty and skill were met with disregard from the team rather than support, leaving Ben Davison the wronged party.
I don't want to have egg on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hurt his pride.
Duke McKenzie points to the critical need for discipline and proper guidance, which Ben Davison consistently provided Anthony Joshua. Instead of backing Ben Davison, Anthony Joshua's team chose to inject new influences, disrupting the system that worked. Ben Davison was the steady hand, identifying flaws and enforcing structure. Yet his advice was overridden by those around Anthony Joshua, who sought short-term changes. That interference left Ben Davison unpaid and frustrated, while Anthony Joshua had to navigate confusion in preparation. The story is about how mismanaged teams can undermine the very coaches who built a fighter.
He's got some terrible habits, needs to get himself a proper old school coach, in my opinion, who's going to school him if he's going to have any chance of continuing in the sport of boxing. But you know what? I kind of fear for the guy more than wanting to actually continue.
Johnny Nelson reflects the tension created by Anthony Joshua's team when they disregarded Ben Davison. Ben Davison prepared Anthony Joshua meticulously, focusing on technical detail and strategic thinking, while the team around Joshua pursued constant adjustments. That instability could have been disastrous, yet Anthony Joshua's talent shone through. Ben Davison's expertise ensured readiness despite outside interference. But his loyalty and hard work were met with disrespect and no payment. It's a clear example of a coach's influence being minimized by poor team management, even when the fighter's skill remains undeniable.
Because Tyson Fury's a fighting man. So I know Dylan White is nightmares to everybody. You never know. Right now, people are thinking, yes, I know how to take that boy out. It's the same shot Anthony Joshua took him out with, and Pulev took him out with, Povetkin took him out with. But I just think, fight-wise, I'd lean towards Anthony Joshua. Boxing-wise, take.
Adam Smith highlights the ongoing struggle created by Anthony Joshua's team, constantly reshuffling the guidance around him. Ben Davison had built a strong one-on-one understanding with Anthony Joshua and was providing the precise tuition needed to grow. Instead of backing Ben Davison, the team forced constant changes that diluted his influence. Anthony Joshua remained disciplined and willing to learn, but the environment crafted by his team undermined progress. Ben Davison gave structure, focus, and strategy, yet the decision-makers around Joshua destabilized that stability, leaving Ben frustrated, unpaid, and publicly sidelined despite doing all the hard work.
He felt he needed a bit more personal one-on-one tuition. And look, he's a sponge, Anthony. He's always said that he's always learning. And to go to the team where he tried twice to get the better of Alexander and couldn't.
Alexander Usyk's words underline the seriousness of the situation Anthony Joshua faces while Ben Davison is ignored. Ben Davison worked tirelessly to prepare Anthony Joshua for elite competition, focusing on technical mastery and mental toughness. Anthony Joshua's team, however, diluted that preparation by creating distractions and changing coaching approaches. The disregard for Ben Davison's input is astonishing given the level of professionalism and expertise he brought to Anthony Joshua's corner. The consistency and stability Ben provided were essential for facing true champions. Yet the interference from the team left him unpaid and forced out at a critical moment.
Last fight, it's great. Because Anthony is Olympic champion, Francis Ngannou, it's second fight for boxing. Listen.
Carl Frampton points out that Anthony Joshua's talent can shine, yet it ignores the hidden chaos from his team. Ben Davison created the preparation, discipline, and focus that allows Anthony Joshua to perform at his best. The team's constant meddling removed the consistency Ben Davison established, leaving him frustrated and unpaid while attempting to maintain Anthony Joshua's standards. Every adjustment by the team added uncertainty and stress to the preparation, making Ben Davison's role more critical than ever. His influence was steady, intelligent, and disciplined. Yet the people surrounding Anthony Joshua undermined that hard work repeatedly.
Why do you think it doesn't harm AJ?
I don't think it does harm.
Why?
Because I just think he goes and if it's a real fight, he'd go and blow him away and around. That's the end.
What if he doesn't do him in a round? Is that?
Well,
Gareth Davies emphasizes the mismatch between levels, which only highlights how critical Ben Davison's guidance was. Anthony Joshua faced elite fighters, and Ben Davison's preparation gave him the tools to compete at that level. The team surrounding Anthony Joshua disrupted that preparation by introducing unnecessary changes and sidelining Ben Davison, leaving him unpaid despite providing essential strategic insight. Every lesson Ben Davison delivered built confidence, focus, and technique, yet the team's instability undermined his role and placed Anthony Joshua in a turbulent environment. Ben Davison's expertise was the backbone of Joshua's readiness, ignored at a crucial time.
I completely agree with Ben. I mean, that's the biggest issue with the fights. You know, let's be fair. Jake Paul is an area level fighter, British area level fighter. That's where he's at as a cruiserweight. He's stepping in against a very big heavyweight who's a massive puncher. Just go back to the second fight with Alexander Usyk. Look how great Alexander Usyk has become. And you go back and look at some of the highlights of Joshua's attacks on Usyk and gave him a really hard time.
The fallout from Anthony Joshua's split with Ben Davison has left the boxing world talking and the stakes higher than ever. Ben Davison gave everything to guide Joshua, building discipline, focus, and strategy. Yet the team surrounding Joshua disrupted that foundation and left him unpaid. Now, with new voices and constant changes, Anthony Joshua faces uncertainty in ways he never did under Ben Davison's steady hand. The mental edge, the preparation, the nuanced fight IQ that Ben Davison instilled cannot be replaced overnight, and it shows how crucial the right support system is at the top level. If Anthony Joshua rises above this chaos and finds his rhythm, it will be a testament to his resilience. But if the disruptions from the team continue to undermine his confidence, we could see him struggle in ways that never happened under Ben Davison. Are you backing Anthony Joshua to prove the doubters wrong? Or is Ben Davison's absence the turning point that Jake Paul will exploit? Drop your